Hey guys, what's up? Docs here from Team NV. I'm going to be bringing you some MLG replays between none other than this guy here, the green Protoss, the boss toss, this SK's MC. And of course, the purple Zerg up here is our very own NV mOOnGLaDe. So this was a game that was played in the 5th round of the MLG Dallas Championship last month. It was of the Open Bracket, and mOOnGLaDe had to play MC as his first opponent in the tournament after being seeded to the 5th round after his performance in the online qualifier. So he didn't quite make it through to be guaranteed into the group stages. He was one round away from making it that far before he was eliminated by, I believe it was actually Scarlet, who took him out in the end. So yeah, this was his first match of the event, up against MC, which is pretty scary. I know a lot of people really wouldn't want to be in that sort of position, being like, oh great, round 1 opponent, MC. It's kind of funny because T-Gun kind of had the same experience. He went up against me in the first round, which is a pushover, that's a complete joke. And then, yeah, so technically his first opponent was SKMC, which didn't go so great for the poor guy, unfortunately. He wasn't very happy about that. So, this is a best of 3 series. And what we're going to do is, after the series is complete, at the end of the last video, we're actually going to have an interview with mOOnGLaDe, tacked onto the end of the video, at the end of the game, just about his experiences at MLG Dallas, and of course what the World Championship Series was like for him, as that has also recently concluded. We were kind of hoping that Total Biscuit would handle these replays. I gave him the replays and he was going to cast them and put them on YouTube, but unfortunately, the guy's just so damn busy with all the stuff he's doing all over the world, so it just never eventuated. So that's why these replays are a little bit late getting out the door. So you can see MC being a really annoying jerk with that probe, trying to block mOOnGLaDe's hatchery. Pretty standard stuff in ZVP these days, and PVC I should say. And of course, if you look at that production tab, you can see MC of course going to that Forge Fast Expand. So there you go, mOOnGLaDe actually managed to get the hatchery up when he wanted to do it. The probe was not successful in his harass, and of course that's simply because having the second drone there allows you to manually control that drone and intercept the probe as it moves into a new position. So you leave one drone chasing the probe around while the other one interjects each time the probe tries to change direction, which is very important. And there's a lot of Zerg players who don't do that for some reason. It's actually quite easy to deal with that probe harass, but they just allow one drone to chase the probe around and hope for the best. But of course that never works out very great. So you can see MC just leaving a little gap here in the wall. Probably going to be holding position with that probe at some point, although after what he scouted from mOOnGLaDe, he probably knows that there's not any lings coming anytime soon. Now I don't think MC saw the third hatchery, that's for sure, no. But of course this is a standard response in ZVP when your opponent's going for that fast expansion. Obviously the Protoss doesn't have any real aggressive capabilities besides throwing down some cannons behind your third, which can be a really annoying thing to deal with on Cloud Kingdom, as they tend to block this spot here with a pylon and then put the cannon up here. And so you can get very little surface area on the cannon as Zerglings attempt to approach it from the side, and then of course they have to funnel through this gap here or go all the way around if they want to get through, thanks to the pylon blocking it. So the probe now, confirming what he already suspected, sees that the hatchery is complete. And just a note there, for those of you who do experience this cannon rush, you can actually position a queen on the high ground here and snipe the cannon without the cannon being able to shoot back of you, unless of course there's something up here providing the cannon with vision. So if you do experience that on the ladder, that's one way to deal with it. You can't reach the pylon, but you can take out the cannon. So we can see MC now starting that warp gate research. No chrono boosts on it yet. Looks like he's invested... No, he's actually saving his chrono boosts. Not investing any into probes or warp gate research. He does have enough gas for this +1, but he's not picking it up just yet. And look at that, that's actually a really fast robo. With these 2 gases being taken and the speed of that robo, it pretty much tells you it's going to be the patented Century Immortal All-In, which has been receiving a lot of flack lately, thanks to players like Parting. And who else was it? I think it's just pretty much Parting in the GSL and the World Championship Series. It is a very difficult build for Zerg players to handle. So we can see more chrono boost going down on the Nexuses, however you prefer. And that third gas has also been taken. No fourth gas. Looks like the build will operate perfectly fine on just 3 gases. Just having a look at mOOnGLaDe now, taking 3 gases of his own at the 7-minute mark. We'll just have a look at that harvest count. 46 drones to 38 probes. So MOOnGLaDe a little bit in the lead, not a huge advance. We can see Immortals now being chrono boosted out, MC taking that 4th gas, and now starting that +1 attack. So a little bit late on the +1 attack, and if we look at the vision of that Overlord, he can see that this researcher only just started. Of course, if we actually looked at mOOnGLaDe's vision, he's probably not staring at this all the time. He's obviously busy, you know, macroing, producing drones, building things, all that sort of stuff. But he can see that this is actually quite late. Unfortunately, he cannot see the robo. MC built it just out of view. So that's something to be considered. MC, of course, being a veteran player, knows exactly when and where the Overlords are going to be positioned on the map, having a Stalker pre-positioned, ready to take out this Overlord when he tries to sneak in and find out what's going on. Now we can see the gateway explosion from MC, bringing him up to a maximum of 7 gateways to support this this Robotech. So at the same time, mOOnGLaDe harvesting gas from these 3 extractors, not picking up any upgrades yet, but he does have a Roach Warren and a Macro Hatch on the way. This will bring him up to 4 hatcheries total, which is going to be a pretty good production flow. So looking at that harvest account again, 42 to 62 now. MOOnGLaDe really pushing ahead with that harvest account. MC Stalker going for a bit of a wander. Looks like he's given up expecting that Overlord, and MOOnGLaDe not actually sending it into the base. He's just happy sitting right here, keeping an eye on the gas count. Now I still don't think MOOnGLaDe has seen... Nope, he hasn't seen any of the Immortals yet. Morphing into an Overseer now. Of course, the Overseer does lose its vision radius while it's transforming. Bit hard to see when you're inside a giant cocoon, apparently. MOOnGLaDe dropping creep on that 3rd, and now MOOnGLaDe sees the Sentry Immortal all in, pushing out. MC actually being really clever and sealing the wall as he departs the base. Very nice. So completely protecting himself against Ling counterattacks. Now if we look at that army supply, we can see MC at 37, mOOnGLaDe at 51. So mOOnGLaDe does have the army advantage right now, but of course you have to consider, once force fields come into play, a lot of these units become completely redundant. Those Zerglings cannot get at the army. The Roaches just kind of sit there getting funneled around and picked up by the Mortals. So here we go, MOOnGLaDe baiting 4 force fields. 200 energy evaporating immediately for MC there. MC now moving this War Prism around. Obviously he has these proxy pylons, but the War Prism is the real threat, because obviously with Lings and Roaches, you can't pick off the War Prism. So you might be able to sneak around and pick off proxy pylons all day long, but you're relying purely on Queens to hold that War Prism. So at this stage, MOOnGLaDe really wants to just keep baiting force fields until he has actually Roach Speed just finishing moments ago. But he just wants to keep baiting those force fields. He doesn't want to engage the army with this much energy on the sentries. Looking at that army supply again, 65 to 94, and it looks like MOOnGLaDe wanting to poke out a little bit. Forcing 2 more. Oh, a lot of force fields going down. A couple of Lings getting caught on the outside, but no major casualties for MOOnGLaDe yet. Oh, sweeping around and getting the proxy pylon with those Lings and Roaches, very nice. But of course, as we mentioned before, the Warp Prism still completely uncontested. A lot of Roaches getting stuck in that little gap there. Again, MOOnGLaDe going for a flank, but not able to get the engagement he wants. Still waiting for the Sentry energy to evaporate. More force fields going down from MC, and it looks like MOOnGLaDe might have just taken out enough of the Sentry energy to engage. Queen's focusing on this Warp Prism, and MC doing really good micro, picking up the injured Immortals. But it looks like MOOnGLaDe has more than enough to clean this up now. Let's just have a look at the workers killed. MC has killed 9 of MOOnGLaDe's drones during this engagement, but he's lost his entire army at the same time. And it looks like MOOnGLaDe has held this successfully. So looking at that supply now, GG, wow. MC calling the GG, and that's it. There's no coming back from that. So that was game 1 of SKMC versus Envy mOOnGLaDe from the MLG Dallas Championships. Check out the next game.